you were talking about the art of it, and we're talking about the formula of it. So the formula is, in my now, in which I am aware, aware of what? My relationship with my inner being, my relationship with my inner being who holds the true knowing of my totally expanded self. In my awareness of how I feel, I have all of the information that I need. And if I start paying attention, I will not only catch it earlier, but I will notice at what point, what's the tipping point where I start telling the fundamental mistruth. A lie is a strong word. It might be better if we say it's a misunderstanding. But it's just not true. Oh, now you're really getting carried away. And then there are some subjects that you've been carrying around for a while. Oh no, I'm not carried away. It happened to my neighbor, and it happened to their daughter, and it happened over there, and it's a thing, and there's these books, and then you really start collecting the evidence to prove the very thing that you don't want to perpetuate is happening. That's not deliberate creation. That's creation by default. That's just regurgitating what you're observing. It is not deliberately evolving. Want to take another one? Let's take one more, because we're not ever going to have a better opportunity. We'll have plenty of chances to do this. Would never be a better opportunity for you to play with this.
So then that moment of now, I think in just the way you last said it, that moment of now contains a misunderstanding. And so let's talk about the power. Let's talk about the power of now. What does now? What's an element of now that would be good for us to acknowledge? Now feels. It always feels. It feels boring. It feels satisfying. It feels because you always have this relationship with your inner being who has a perspective and is feeling. That's what your emotional guidance system is all about. The vibrational variance between your inner being and you, and that's what feeling is. And so in this now, you feel what? And how can you mold that feeling? How can you calibrate that feeling into alignment with your inner being? It's not going to be by putting up another Holocaust monument. Or. Yeah. So you're being present, and you are being now.
You can't help but be present.
And in the acknowledgement of
you can't help but be present, and you can't help but be having a feeling about it. So that part's done for you. So, and then what happens?
It's an awareness.
Of focus.
That feeling.
But so that's what we wanted to hear from you. An awareness of a feeling. Because if you start trying to chase the thoughts down, you'll be off in the weeds so fast into all those books. You'll get all those parenting books in, and you'll drag them in, and you'll bring all of the documents about everything that supports the very thing that you don't want to perpetuate. You'll just drag it all in. You'll get online. You don't even have to have, you can get it all. You can get all of the evidence for everything you don't want at your fingertips. So keep talking, because we keep interrupting you, but each time we start over, you've got it more.
So there you are now.
Here I am now.
Here I am now, present to this feeling. So that's my power, is in my awareness and presence.
And what is your true power? What's the truest truth about you? I can feel like my inner being feels if I focus on it. And how do I know what my inner being is feeling? This is a really good question.
So the truth right now would be love, empowerment, joy, and clarity.
So if I'm feeling anything on the lower half of the scale, I can extrapolate where my inner being is in relationship to that, can't I? And so there's no mystery here, is there?
There isn't. It's the steadiness right now. If I were in alignment.
And this is you taking your power back. In other words, this is you now Now it's not a big mystery in the world. Now you don't have to debate all the debates that everybody's debated about that subject, because you know the only thing that matters in this evolved moment in time in which you stand. All the bouncing off places, all the vortices that have been set into motion, all of source energy, everything that you have all created that is calling all of you toward it, right here and now, you can feel your relationship with all of that. You can feel your relationship with all of that. And what to do right now in your powerful now has never been more clear or more simple to you, has it?
No.
I got to find the lie, because when I find the lie, I'm willing to stop doing it.
I think,
And until you identify it,
yeah.
then there's still confusion.
Yeah, I think what I'm noticing is that what people will say is that, see, you're not being in the now because you're not facing that. You are upset.
Don't listen to them.
Yeah,
Nobody
but
knows what now is.
There's
They're off in the weeds. There's so much conversation about now. We can give it to you simple. You can't get out of now.
Yeah.
You can't get out of now, and it's the same now that your inner being's in, and that's why your guidance system works.
Yeah.
You can't get out of now. Your inner being can't get it out of now. There's one eternal now, and your inner being, and this is even juicier, your inner being is focused upon the specific now that you're focused upon, so you can take to the bank or anywhere else you want to go with it. Your inner being's perspective is on target about whatever it is that you're focused upon.
And you can find your way to it because you can feel your way.
Feel
right
your
to it.
perfect words.
Yeah.
You
Right
can
there.
feel your way there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Stay sitting there just for a minute. So how are you out there? Did you get that? In other words, it felt a little vague at first, but it started to clear up, didn't it? Didn't it? Did it? So we have some questions for you. This is your quick quiz. Do you have one or two perspectives? Are both perspectives active in every moment that you're focused and awake? Are you most aware of those two perspectives by the way you feel? When you don't feel so good, who's off? You or your inner being? When you don't feel too good, who's gonna do the movement to the other? Because the offness is that you're not in the same place as your inner being. So there's an offness. Who's gonna move to the other? Is your inner being gonna join you in your hatred, in your unworthiness? Who's gonna move? Why does it matter if you move? Because this feels crappy. So it matters that you move. Who's going to move? Who's going to do the work? Who's going to do what you were born to do? Who's going to do the calibrating? You are. How are you going to do it? You're going to feel your way there. And what does that mean? Think a thought, see how it feels. Think a thought, see how it feels. Think a thought, see how it feels. We're just suggesting with every fiber of Esther's being and all that is in the universe, as we know the laws of the universe and the way things are, every cell in every being, every vibration in everything that is, every chemical in every chemistry, every part of the universe operates under these truths. That there is an eternal expansion that is present in your now, that is giving you real, live, present tense, in the now, vibrational frequencies for you to calibrate to. And now that you know it, not complicated, just focus until you feel the point of your deviation or separation. Your inner being knows your value if nothing ever changed. Your inner being knows, however, that you have launched lots of rockets of desire, and your inner being knows every one of them. Your inner being knows what your attitude or mood is, vibrational frequency, attitude or mood, is about everything that you care about. So your inner being knows where you stand in relationship to everything you want. And your inner being knows what the path of least resistance is. Esther had to get on a ship where she just can't go down to the market and get that poison stuff. She had to be in a situation where the path of least resistance could work it out for her, because things are always working out for her. You get what we're getting at? We really want to get it across to you. I see some frowns. You're not happy with this conversation. You don't have to come back either. The law of attraction is a conspiracy that is always giving you whatever's active in your vibration. But the true conspiracy of your experience is that your inner being is always focused upon the furthest, most desired expansion of you. And so things are always working out for you. And anything that looks otherwise is a misunderstanding.
That last part and what happened with Esther and all of that, I think that there's something to that where we might think, or, well, if I'm a deliberate creator, I'm manifesting things, then I should be able to get what I want on the ship. And there's I think, a realization that
I should be able to buck the current of my own well-being.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing it for a long time.
Right. And that's so there's a realization that, but what, it's almost like, this is about your true desire, not about what you think is your desire. That's
why Esther found the words from the vibration that we so pointedly offered. Where is the lie? At what point? Where is the deviation from true wanting? And it takes a while sometimes.
Yeah.
It takes a while to sort it out. It might take 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 different kinds of situations before you get the hang of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. So even in the very thing about I wanted this thing and then it didn't come or it went somewhere else, even in that is to remember.
So let's walk through that. Let's apply the formula. Do you have a specific, or should we do it generally like you were just doing it?
Yeah, probably.
So I've wanted this thing.
Yeah.
And I still want this thing, current, that hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
Hasn't shown up. Do I know it hasn't shown up? Yeah. It's not there. Does my inner being know it hasn't shown up? But feel this. Isn't ever going to show up.
Say that again.
It feels like it's never going to show up because I've wanted it for so long and it hasn't shown up. So I'm concluding that it's never going to show up. Isn't that where you double down? And isn't that where the knot starts to get bigger? And is it because your inner being knows it's available to you when you're ready to let it in? And so that was the departure point. So now what are you going to do about that? So then you say something like, well, I don't mean it's never coming. I mean it just looks like it's never coming because it hasn't come yet. But that can't be true because there's a conspiracy and because things are always working out for me and because I've stood in a place before where there was something I wanted and it didn't look like it was ever going to come and it came. So I know that things will come to me. I see other people. There are a lot of people that have stood right where I'm standing wanting something that I want, wasn't coming to them just like it doesn't look like it's coming to me, and then it came to them. In other words, you just talk yourself into vibrational alignment with what you want, and you know how you've improved your point of attraction? You feel better.
You feel, yeah.
And that's what we meant earlier when we said you regain your power, because your only power is the power to calibrate to your true desire. And how do you know what your true desire is if you don't play around with this until you figure it out?